ridiculous.
Well, here's the thing.
Maybe. Sometimes.
Tell me about this. I want to know more.
Oh, yeah. No.
Holy cow.
We've had a lot of fun.
So, Catherine, volunteer season is ramping up for you, is it?
It is. I mean, it's just like hockey season is starting, so my husband especially is having to do a ton for that. And synchronized skating season is kicking off very soon, so I have been working on that, on some of the travel stuff, or I will be shortly. Like, you've heard me discuss and complain on this podcast before about the joys of planning meals for a party of 65. So, yeah, I'll be doing that again. Sure.
Wow.
Are you going to be hitting up that big truck stop again this year, or is that on your list?
No, I don't think so, because we're not going that direction. We're going to California. So that's the next one that I need to start working on. Wow. And then after that, it's Michigan several times. So yeah. So no big truck stop this year.
Aww. That was cool. That is so much work, though, those trips. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and, I mean, I'm certainly not the only one, and other people do lots of things, too, and lots of really difficult things, like buying plane tickets.
Oh, man.
Can you just even imagine that?
No.
That's just... anyway. I mean, as it is for our other figure skating, for the individual stuff and the club that my daughter belongs to. For that, I do a lot of volunteer stuff, and we just had an event where we had to have judges flying in, and we had one who sent us an itinerary and said, okay, this is what I'm going to get if this schedule works for you. And we said, yep, that's good. Go ahead and get it. And so then last night, one of our volunteers went to the airport to pick this person up, and she did not get off the plane that we were expecting her to get off. And between the two of us, we, lost at least 10 years of our lives because this is it's a judge, and if you don't have all your judges, you cannot do your event. Oh, man. And it would have meant canceling everyone, refunding all this money that we don't have. Like, it's the biggest pain. Wow. And, she just turned up on a different flight, like a half an hour later.
What? No.
Oh my gosh. I have like 400 new gray hairs now because of this. I just...
Wow.
That would have been a great sitcom episode. They would have dressed somebody up in a wig and, pretended that they were a judge. And
oh, man.
And then the real judge would have walked in.
It was traumatizing, let me tell you. It was.
Wow.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the story.
Good for you for doing all of that. Man, I chaperoned one band trip. And I was never the person who had to organize it, but I could see how much work goes into it and is unappreciated by pretty much everybody. But golly, just, so much that can go wrong and so many moving parts and so many tickets and this and that and planning different places to go. And wow, I was glad I was on the going along and having fun part and not the putting the whole thing together part.
Exactly.
Well, y'all know I'm tapping out of this conversation because I've had my day of planning field trips for endless amount of years, for endless amount of kids. So I am over all of that.
Yeah.
You checked that box.
You
are
checked
done.
it off.
I did a lot of pretty hardcore volunteering in my kids' school days between the library and the band parents committee, and I loved it. And I kind of miss it a little bit, but not that much. It's nice to have, time to myself and no responsibilities. in that way to responsibilities to a group. I mean, I was the secretary of the band parents committee, and I had to be doing minutes, and that was always kind of a chore that I would put off to the last possible second, and having to take notes during the meeting and all of that. And I mean, I felt good that I did it, but I'm sort of glad it's done.
Yep.
But at the same time, it did give me something to do and a reason to get out into the community, which I seem to lack now. People who I saw all the time doing all that volunteer stuff, you think that you have all these, friendship. It's not friendships. You're friendly with a lot of people. And then when the reason that you all get together is gone, you never see those people again.
Right.
Yeah.
Possibly on Facebook in passing. But,
Yeah.
it's pros and cons, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, my last volunteering gig I got fired from, so.
Really?
Ooh.
Well, I just wasn't.
Way to go.
I wasn't really showing
Was it
up.
on purpose?
I wasn't being the best volunteer I could be, so I was asked not to return.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
Well, this was at
That's
the
harsh.
local hospital, so they take their volunteering pretty serious.
How many patients did you kill, Nicole? Come on, fess up.
Well, that was kind of the problem, is that when I signed up to volunteer there,
Yeah.
they just had me folding diapers and folding
Oh,
maternity wards. So
yeah. That seems
I mean,
safe,
I
though.
suppose I was helping, but it really wasn't, because I wanted to get out and meet people in the community. It's when we first moved here. And,
Yeah.
Yes. And they
and I was very thankful. I did want to be on the maternity ward. I was thankful that I got a volunteer job there, but it was
Yeah.
pretty limiting.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, my illustrious career in volunteering came to a quick end when that happened. So,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well,
no more volunteering things on the horizon, Terry?
I don't think so. I mean, I guess I could find some. The problem is now I have absolutely no time. Every now and then I think I should find something in the community to volunteer for. And my son does a lot of volunteer. He volunteers at the food pantry 3 or 4 days a week. And that's been a really neat thing for him. But I don't know where I would find the time to do it if I wanted to. And I'm not sure I want to. So
You're good.
I'm good. I've done my thing. I may do my thing again. Little parenting, volunteering sabbatical right now, I guess. But I like the idea that it's possible if I changed my mind. Sometime when I'm retired, when I'm 90 or something.
You're kind of sort of volunteering with this podcast.
That's
though,
true.
aren't you?
That's true.
You're putting
Yes.
Nicole, did you not get your check?
my check.
Your paycheck from the podcast.
Oh, yeah. that.
We'll talk about that more later, listeners.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So moving on, let's get started here. Hello and welcome to Parenting Roundabout, a weekly podcast about the things that parents are talking about, obsessing about, and complaining about right now. I'm Nicole Erdix, and with me today are Catherine Haleko
Hello.
and Terri Morrow,
Hello.
who are obviously getting paid. And
In love and devotion from our listeners is payment enough, apparently.
I'm on strike. Today on the podcast, we're going to make some would you rather choices on our speed round, shout out some of the stuff that we like on the Roundabout Roundup, and do some other shameless self-promotion. But first, it's Halloween week.
Ooh.
Terry?
Yes.
What do we talk
Well, way back in 2016, you could look it up. We talked about what scares us now as adults, and goodness knows there's plenty. But for this Halloween episode, we thought we would talk about things that we found scary when we were kids. The future, maybe, if we were smart.
And this, by the way, is a listener suggestion
Yay.
for a topic.
We have a listener who
Thank
suggests
you.
things. Yay!
Yeah.
Well then, Catherine, what would you say to that listener? What scared you when you were a kid?
I still can remember a recurring nightmare that I had as a little kid.
Yeah.
And I know I was under like 7 because of the house we were living in, when I started having that dream. Anyway, I was told or overheard or something that we had a woodchuck living under the garage.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
And what did you think that
And
was?
I thought it was like a, extremely terrifying beast that was going to basically burst through the floor of the garage
Uh-oh.
Oh
and
my.
chase me down the hall and
That is terrible.
into my room and onto my bed.
Wow.
That is so. I was definitely afraid of that. I don't remember being afraid of like the dark or
Wow.
monsters or things like that, but for sure that one particular animal was
Woodchuck does sound
Woodchuck.
kind of scary, doesn't it?
terrifying.
Did you know what a woodchuck was? No, right?
No,
Didn't
no.
know. Okay. Wow.
Although, the closest I've ever been to one was the time where on the same day that Terry's dog in New Jersey killed a groundhog,
Yeah.
which I think is the same thing, right? On the very same day, my dogs cornered one in our yard, and then they just like hissed at each other, and
That
I
was
had to
freaky.
drag my dogs away. But it was the same day.
That was
It
very odd.
So weird.
Are a woodchuck and a groundhog the same thing?
I don't know. I feel like they are, but maybe I'm wrong.
Close enough.
I'm looking it up.
Well, a groundhog hogs the ground while a woodchuck chucks wood. So,
But how much?
Oh,
How
yes. The
much
groundhog
is the question.
also known as a woodchuck.
hey, look at
Oh.
us
I'm a
sharing
good
important
woodchuck.
information.
Bring in the knowledge.
Next time you have that clue in a crossword puzzle, thank us. Catherine knows her rodents.
Exactly.
Wow.
But that's the only thing I can think of. I feel like I'm sure there was
Fear of
more.
woodchucks.
Funny.
There
Yeah.
must have been more.
I don't know. Yeah, I've been trying to think about what I was. I'm pretty sure I was afraid of the dark. I think I always had a nightlight. But I do remember seeing on TV at some point the movie The Blob and being just terrified of that, and just even thinking about that for years and possibly even decades after would, fill me with dread. Something about that. I can't even remember it very specifically anymore, other than to know that the thought of it just terrified me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was going to come get me,
Yeah.
along with the woodchuck. The two together. The woodchuck would block the door, and the blob would envelop me, and I would cease to exist.
Oh,
Wow. There are two that are significant in my childhood,
Yeah.
and they still haunt me to this day.
no.
The first one, I believe, was around, I think I was about 7 years old, and
Yeah.
I saw The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that is a scary movie.
That was
yeah.
Scary, the original one.
I
and
still can't watch that.
the
Flying monkeys?
I could not get out of my bed. I was afraid they were under my bed, like literally. I could not get out of my bed. I was so terrified. I would have to
Yes.
jump from my bed onto, I don't know, whatever it was.
Nobody
carpet or
ever
something.
talks about how scary that movie is.
Right?
The witch is
is
scary
not
too. They're all
appropriate.
scary. Even the good people characters are scary. It's
Not appropriate for young children.
no.
They are terrifying. Like, how many of our listeners were scared by The Wizard of Oz? Let us know.
Yes,
Because I'm betting that there are quite a few.
I think so. I think it
Who
scarred a
were traumatized.
generation.
It did.
Similarly, the
Similarly.
the Christmas song, Babes in Toyland,
Yeah.
would scare me because there's that part about you'll never, ever come home again or something. Isn't there? There's a line that's like, once
That
you
could be
pass
a-
its borders, you
yeah.
can never return again. I was like, never? That sounds really awful.
It sounds like a horror. All these horror movie taglines. It sounds like
Okay,
Right.
here's the other
Yes.
one that I'm sure scared an entire generation
Yes.
of kids. I saw it when I was probably in grade 3.
uh-huh.
Jaws.
I never saw
yes. Now you talked about this on our past episode about fears that we're going to link to, and about how you can't swim in a swimming pool.
I can't swim in a pool by myself. I can't
by
swim
yourself
in the
because of Jaws.
Because of Jaws. I'm still traumatized to this day by Jaws. I bet there were more people out there like me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but maybe not in the pool. They might be scared of the ocean.
Really? Is not anybody afraid to swim in the pool by themselves?
What kind of pools are you swimming in, Nicole? Are there woodchucks in them too? And possibly blobs?
Like, I can't get in a pool by myself now as an adult.
Wow.
I'm terrified.
Does somebody go off to the side and go, da-da, da-da, da-da? And then Nicole runs inside.
I'm afraid of coming up from the drain.
Wow.
I don't know where I got that from.
That is a deep-rooted fear. Yeah, I never liked scary movies. I mean, either horror movies at all, or just even like Jaws type scary movies. And I went through a little phase in my 20s where I got brave, and I think I watched American Werewolf in London, and I watched Poltergeist, and then since then I haven't watched any of those kind of movies. It's like nope, still not me.
I think the last scary movie I saw was The Blair Witch Project, and that was way too much for me.
No. Yeah. I stay away from them.
Yeah, I would not.
Another thing that I was scared of as a kid and had a brief phase of doing and then have not done again is like big upside down roller coasters.
Oh, yeah.
I can take me a fast train roller coaster, but a big high and loop-de-loop roller coaster, couldn't do them as a kid. Went through a brief phase in high school where I did it because I had a boyfriend who wanted to. And then after that, nope.
Yeah.
I even had a bad experience as a kid with a tilt-a-whirl at the local fair.
Same.
And I screamed so loud they had to stop it and let me off.
Yep.
And
I cannot do rides.
No, that's especially the ones that look like they just unpacked them from a truck this morning, and there's a a guy with a bottle in his pocket turning on the switch
and no teeth.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, God bless them. I'm glad they have a trade. That's wonderful. I'm sure it's perfectly safe, but if I'm going to die, it's not going to be in the parking lot at the Jan's Mall when the tilt-a-wheel car goes flinging into Moore Park Road.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Caneva Valley Days Carnival.
We do. I know. That's why I'm laughing. We used to look forward to it every year. Big excitement in our town.
Yeah.
I was terrified of the rides.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can do a Ferris wheel sometimes and sometimes not.
No way.
Little ones.
No Ferris wheel, Nicole.
No. Heights? Is heights a thing for you?
Height thing?
It's the out of control spinning.
Oh, yes. Yeah. That tilt-a-whirl is very bad for that.
The dipping and the Yeah. I think it's the dipping, the up and the down, the spinning, the drops. It's like this making that's why I don't like flying. It's that little tiny drop in altitude, and my stomach is just like whoop, up in my throat.
Can you do the teacups at Disneyland, or is that even too spinny?
No.
Too spinny. I'm not good.
You can control the spin on that, though. You can make it real slow.
Yeah, but my family doesn't because they try and spin it on purpose to make they think it's funny.
Go in a cup by yourself.
Right.
Find a button.
Well, I'll just sit there as it just kind of moves through.
You want to go to the amusement park and you just watch everybody. I'll watch your things. Go on.
I'm the one that carries the bags.
There you go.
And the sweaters and such, and then I stand off to the side. It was a huge ordeal to get me on the what's that one where you go in the inner tube on the raft on the water?
Oh, like the log flume one. Yeah.
Not that one, because that freaks me out too. It's the big round one.
Oh.
And it's like the rapids. You go through the
rapids. Yeah.
I think that's after my time, but
they do have one of those at California Adventure Park. I forget what it's called, but something River Rapids or something.
So that was a big ordeal to get me on that, which is so weird because I'm okay doing that kind of stuff in real life, but
yeah,
not on a ride.
But control, like, when if you're like kayaking or something, you feel like you have a little more control over where you're going.
I'm in charge.
yeah.
Oh yeah, kayaking. That is my newfound love. Unfortunately, I can't do it down here in Southern California because I live in the desert. Yeah, that's a whole other story.
Yeah, yeah. So when we're talking about scary things from our childhood, are we talking about like fear of embarrassment and humiliation in front of peers? Because that was a constant companion.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that never went away.
Yeah, you had the dream of showing up at school without pants or something.
It was that dream of trying to get somewhere and you couldn't.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one, and I still have that one for
too.
sure.
Yeah.
It is a well-worn path through our neurons, I think.
Yeah, that was a freaky one.
Yeah. Yes.
But
never dies.
yeah, what else? The kid, I'm just trying to think. I mean, there was always that house, that you never wanted to walk past. Or the one with the, the scary old people in it, or...
Aw. Overgrown weeds in the front.
Yeah. There was always that house in town.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we went trick-or-treating to that house and ran screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's all those little stories around town that you'd hear and be like, oh my gosh.
I was afraid of PE.
Out.
That was pretty terrifying.
Oh, that was
terrifying.
My favorite.
Once again, how many of our listeners were terrified and traumatized by PE?
Yes, I think that was a common thing. To go across the bars, the ladder bars once in junior high, and I did
having
once.
to do like the arm hang.
Yes.
That's what they had girls do instead of pull-ups.
Yes.
You had to just hang there. Flexed arm hang. Where you had to be like halfway in a pull-up and you were just supposed to hang there and they'd time you how long you could do it for.
Oh, Lord.
Do they still have the President's Physical Fitness ribbons? Do they still give those out? Or was that just a thing when I was in school?
I think they still do some version of it.
Yeah.
If I remember from my family fitness site days.
Because no way at all was I ever getting one of those.
Oh gosh, no.
I don't remember my kids getting them, but up until my daughter was in high school, they still weighed the kids.
Whoa.
PE.
That is not kind.
I don't know if they still do it to this day or they stop. I mean, I would think that they have stopped.
That's a fairly
now,
terrifying thing. That's a current childhood fear.
Yeah.
To get weighed in your PE class,
yeah.
That's pretty
traumatic. It's terrible to be too much and it's terrible to be not enough. And
right.
Then the ones who are just right are going to lord it over everybody. That's awful.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That is just as terrifying as a horror movie or a scary Halloween costume.
A good screaming sound effect we could have played after each of these. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah. I mean, when I answer the door on Halloween, I still don't like to see the, super bloody, gory things.
No.
Just bring me your princesses and mermaids and superheroes. I don't need, especially when they're 8 years old and they have this super skin. It's one thing if it's a teenager. Yeah. Which I think we've talked about here. It's fine if a teenager trick-or-treats. That's fine. Bring them on. But, I can get a little nervous if they look like a serial killer, even if it is Halloween.
Awful.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I don't know. Scorpions terrify me. Oh, that's an adult thing, isn't it?
I would be terrified of that.
That's a current thing, not a childhood thing, right?
I would have been scared
did not have scorpions in...
I did not have them as a child, no.
Or Ontario.
No. No, I can't say as we did.
Just like maybe in California. I don't know. Did they have woodchucks, Terry?
I don't remember woodchucks.
I think we've established that they have them in New Jersey and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, where I was living when they scared me.
Yeah. Down the street from my childhood home was at the time when I was a kid, it looked like a large hill, but really it's not. It's just a kind of a mediocre little hill at the end of our subdivision. It was called Tarantula Hill, and there was much discussion amongst the kids as to whether there were really tarantulas on it. We were at various times very certain that it was. In fact, I think somebody just thought it kind of looked like a tarantula, and that's how I got that name. But there was the constant undercurrent of a tarantula from Tarantula Hill could be in your bed at any time. Some kid got bit by a tarantula. Did you hear? Some kid.
Some kid. The mythical.
I heard some kid got bit by a tarantula. They were on Tarantula Hill.
Right.
And they got bit. I don't believe I ever saw a tarantula, other than at a zoo or a museum. But
right.
We were wondering that the other day about Halloween candy. Was that ever a real thing?
like razor blades and apples and stuff.
We were always terrified of that.
Yeah. I think it was,
Right?
but it might have been another one of those some kid. I heard some kid.
That's what I'm thinking. That kid in America. It's always the kid in America.
As long as you don't trick or treat in America, children, you will be fine.
Right. You'll be fine.
Oh, some kid in California.
Yeah.
Or some kid in New York.
Right.
It was always.
Yeah, we heard about that
kid.
stuff. I don't know that I was ever afraid of my candy, but that may have been because my parents pulled out anything that looked, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember it being a thing. But yeah, you definitely heard those things. But, it was like a razor blade and an apple. Who eats an apple they get when they've gone trick-or-treating?
Right.
You put the apple in the family fruit bowl, and you go for the, Snickers bars and the candy corn.
Not Snickers bars.
Not Snickers bars?
No.
You don't like Snickers bars?
Nope.
How is that possible,
my
Nicole?
goodness.
Wait a minute. We have to have a whole episode about this now. It's chocolate and peanuts.
That's disgusting. And caramel. It's gross.
Oh, it's the awesomest thing on earth.
No way.
What could you be talking
I'm not
about? Well,
gonna have it.
this moves us nicely into our speed round, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Good for that.
It does.
It's the sort of thing that people
Sure
find.
does.
We're going to revisit this, Ms. Eridix. We're going to revisit this.
Okay. Feel free.
Bring
it on.
Yes, our speed round for today and for the whole week.
Oh, boy.
We are going to be doing Would You Rathers, which were inspired by an Instagram story I saw, and I have no credit for it. I do not know who came up with it.
So we are just going to steal from it, whoever it was.
Just
Thank you, Phantom Instagrammer.
So today's Would You Rather series is about your leisure time. How do you take your leisure time when you get it?
What is this leisure time of which you speak?
I know, right? First, let's just
pretend.
suspend that disbelief.
Are we establishing that we have leisure?
Yes.
Right?
Is that-
Yes, we are.
We're just implied in this is if you had leisure time, which of these would you rather?
If you were choosing between Friday night out and Friday night in, which would you pick?
Easy.
What's it? What's your answer, Nicole?
In. I am a Friday night in kind of person. If you had asked me when I was 18, it'd be a very different answer.
Right.
I was going to say exactly the same thing. Even 20s, you know.
Oh,
or,
yeah.
You know, pre-kids. But
Yeah.
I'm full-on nester now. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not interested in going out. My husband's not interested in going out. I would much, much, much rather just spend the evening in.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards in as well, and my husband for sure.
Yeah.
Is in.
Yes.
But you know, if it's a choice between going out on Friday night and never going out, then I would pick Friday night out.
Oh, over other days of the.
Well, if it's like you can only go out on Friday, I don't know. I'm not making a lot of sense here, but anyway. So
I think I might
we've
take that deal.
established-
I don't have to go out. Excellent.
Ever.
I don't have to go out ever? Cool.
So
You're just fine with that.
we will stay in on Friday nights. But if
And
we were going
podcast.
out, whether it was a Friday or any other day, if you're going out to eat, would you rather a fine dining establishment or a nice pub? And let's
A
just
pub.
say money is no object.
A pub.
You like to be more relaxed and comfy.
Yeah.
Could we, in addition to pub, just sort of broaden that to say any lower cost family style restaurant? I don't even.
Sure.
Pub sounds like a bar to me.
Yeah. I think they just
no.
mean like a
a
cozy,
piece-
neighborhoody
Yes,
kind
that
of
I
thing.
will.
Yeah.
Yes, that I would definitely
Yeah.
choose because I would be more comfortable there, and because my family would be more comfortable there if my kids are with me. And also because I have lost in my old age the ability to spend a lot of money on something and still enjoy it. So even the pubs are getting expensive to me.
I just like pub food.
Yeah,
I like the variety of food on the
right,
menu.
right.
Yeah, especially if it's good.
Yeah.
If the quality of the food is the same in both places.
Even if it's not, I really don't care. You could give me the most delicious thing, but if I'm spending $100 on it, I'm not going to like it. I would rather have crappier
going to
food
taste
for less money.
terrible.
Really?
Yeah. I
Oh,
can't, I
gosh,
mean,
okay.
that's why I don't go to Broadway anymore, because I can't enjoy something that costs me that much money.
Oh, so you're thinking it's stressing you out.
Yeah, it's like, well, this is good, but when it gets to the level that I could have bought a TV set for the same amount of money
Oh,
for
yeah.
an ephemeral thing, that starts to bother me. So food, it definitely would, because, in 24 hours, this is going to be completely gone.
Yeah.
And I could use that money for something I would use for many years. So, but I think that's an age and cheapness thing. So I guess I care more about money than the deliciousness of food.
I also think, though, that as I'm getting older, I prefer to spend on experiences versus objects.
That's one way to go, certainly. Not the way I have gone now.
Because I'm like, I have enough stuff. So, but it's difficult, like you said, to be like, but I have nothing to show for this.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure to put on something to be worth that amount of money. Is the thing. Something that could be perfectly enjoyable without that pressure becomes less enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think you would do it or spend it if you thought that the enjoyment was a question.
But
Like, would you not do it knowing for sure that it was like going to Disney?
yeah, but see, but even going to Disney, when it got to be like $200 or $300 to go to Disney, it made me less eager to do it. I don't know. It's just I think some of it is.
I mean, I wouldn't spend that money on Disney because I personally
Yeah.
don't like Disney that much. But y'all.
You do it if
Right,
that's what you're doing.
different.
If I'm going on vacation and we're going to Disney, then that's what you do. But I don't know. Yeah, it's. I mean, like I used to go to concerts, and the thing is, I think, in addition to me getting older and cheaper, stuff has gotten more expensive. So you used to go to a concert and it was like $40, and now it's $140, and my brain just can't process that. It's just it's too much, and so the whole time I'm going, this is fun, but boy, this is a lot of money. That's fun, but boy, that was a lot of money. So I can't enjoy it, so I just don't do it.
Okay.
So somebody wants.
It's funny because my husband's like the opposite because the one thing that he will spend money on is concerts.
Yeah, well,
Like he loves, like he just sees so much value in them, and sometimes, and I for the most part agree with him, but then sometimes like, really, did you have to spend that much money on a concert ticket? And he's like, it's about the experience. It's about the,
Right.
I'm like,
it
okay.
may also be at different times in my life, I've had a different level of disposable income. And maybe I've just gone through a period where, and maybe it's still in one, where it's hard to scrape up that much. I don't know. I just feel more protective of my dollars.
Yeah.
I have to really, really think about it. And because I'm I'm a pretty cheap date, so I'm perfectly happy to go to. I'm happy to go to McDonald's, Really, I'm not very picky about food. I'm not really that picky about experiences anymore. So, I did all that stuff. I guess part of me feels that I did it. So, I've had good meals.
Yeah.
I've gone to Disneyland and Disney World. I've gone to lots of amazing concerts. I don't have to do that anymore. Unless they get about $100 cheaper.
Right.
Not anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, okay, we have two more.
That wandered off.
Would you
Wait, you didn't answer that, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Me? Yeah, I think I would go probably with the pub too, but only if the food is good. Yeah. Like the atmosphere, and if it's not like super loud and filled with screaming
you could just
kids.
eat in.
I know.
That gets back to our first would you rather, doesn't it?
Right. Would you rather? What? I'll just order it.
Yeah, exactly.
Uber Eats.
There you go. That solves all the problems.
Which I don't think they have in my neck of the woods. But
all right,
okay,
moving on.
So next one is a fictional movie or a documentary.
Oh, that's easy.
Which one?
It would be fictional as long as it was nothing Disney related, musical,
Wow.
like theater type stuff, or sci-fi.
Mm-hmm. So you do have some caveats.
I have a lot. And cartoons. I hate cartoons.
How about rom-coms? You're into those?
I do like the rom-coms.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Yes, and I like a good psychological thriller.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much a horror movie, but I will if it's really good.
Yeah.
And like A Star Is Born. I did not like that movie. I mean, I'd seen the original or not the original, the second one, Barbra Streisand.
Mm-hmm.
But then I went and saw this other one,
the Lady Gaga one.
Lady Gaga. I just couldn't get into it. It's just too much singing and. I don't know.
Too much singing.
I think that's kind of a prerequisite for A Star Is Born, isn't it?
I just could not
That
get
movie
into
about
it.
singers, they sang too much.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
That's so funny.
That's not my thing. I guess I just don't have a good imagination.
Aw.
I think I have to pick fictional movie because there have been lots and lots of documentaries that I like, but there's way too many that are too depressing or just boring.
Yeah.
It's too much of a risk.
Yes.
If it's would you rather for the rest of your life only watch documentaries or only watch fiction, then I'm going to have to go with fiction because
I would agree.
There's some great documentaries out there that I have enjoyed very much and made Terri watch in some cases.
Yes,
but
that was fun. Yeah, I would go with, if I had to pick one or the other, I would definitely go with fiction. Although, interestingly, like with books lately, not just lately, for a while, I really like nonfiction books. I like reading nonfiction quite a lot. But for movies, I don't want to work that hard. You know what? Entertain me.
Yeah.
If I ever went to the movies, which I don't, because see Would You Rather number 2.
Right.
$10 for a movie seat? No, thank you. I'll stay home and microwave some popcorn and watch Netflix.
Right. Okay, we have one more, and this one I had to include just for Nicole's sake.
Oh, no.
And this is how it's phrased: scenic walk versus city sprint.
God, neither.
I know. Nicole's like, please don't make me do either of those things.
I don't want to walk. Please, no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, city sprint, do they mean like actually running as fast as you can through a city? Or do they just mean like a brisk walk?
I mean,
like,
you have to walk fast so cars don't hit you, or I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you're in Manhattan, you do have to walk fast. Otherwise, people will just mow you down because you're in their way.
Yes.
But that, I don't know if that's what the originator of this would you rather was thinking.
Okay, well, I'm going with neither.
Yeah.
Forget it.
I choose.
Not going to do it.
I choose scenic walk.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know. I
Nicole.
mean, it depends. How scenic are we talking? Are we talking about just a walk through a nice country area, or are we talking about a hike? I don't want no hike, but
Oh, see, I would do a hike.
nice peaceful walk in a outdoor nature-ish setting is fine. I don't mind walking through cities either, but I don't want to get like walking in New York City is a little intense.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be going somewhere.
I have to say, I would do a moderate hike.
Mm.
Yeah,
To get to the place where you could kayak.
exactly. Or to sit and have a picnic.
Yeah.
Right.
And not so much with the hiking.
But kayak, yeah. I mean, I would do a moderate hike.
We didn't know this about you, Nicole. It's a whole hidden facet. Nicole's a hiker.
Well, I grew up in
All
Canada.
right, well, that's true.
You know, we didn't have much else to do.
That's true.
There's a lot of outdoor stuff.
I like taking a nice walk around the neighborhood. Which does that count as?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
See, that bores me.
Suburban saunter is...
Right. And, you know, the other day I was taking a walk outside. I found $5 on the street. So I felt like that was my reward
Absolutely.
for not going on the treadmill and going outside.
See, now we do have to say, though, mention to the
Yes.
listeners that I do some form of exercise because I like my stationary bike.
Ah,
It's not that I don't like to take walks and be active. It's just that, you know, walking in general bores me. I like a good hike through the woods. That would
There you go. Scenic walk.
To each her own.
Yes. Well, that is it for this round of Would You Rathers, but you can listen in every Wednesday through Friday for a speed round, and this week they are all going to be Would You Rathers. So listen in for more arguments and caveats, and well, if
And
it's
stay
this-
tuned for a future Snickers debate between Terri and Nicole. It's coming.
Hi, we hope you're enjoying this episode of Parenting Roundabout. We're not one of those podcasts that's trying to sell you websites or mattresses or meal kits. I mean, we totally would, but no one's asked us yet.
There is, however, something you can do that costs you nothing, but will put a little change in our pockets. Listen to our podcast on the RadioPublic app. Download the app to your iPhone or Android device and listen to Parenting Roundabout there, and we'll get paid for each listen. Plus a little more if you listen a lot.
We think you'll enjoy listening to all your podcasts on this app, but if you could at least listen to Parenting Roundabout there, we'd be very grateful. Now, back to the episode.
But until then, we shall bring you some of the things we've read or seen or used recently that we want to shout out and share with you. So, Terri.
Yeah,
What have you got?
I have something. It's not actually finished yet, so maybe at a later time I will have more to say about it in a negative way, but so far I am very happy about it. I've talked here before about our desperate need for new kitchen appliances, that we have the dishwasher that does not wash dishes, and we have the oven that turns itself off without announcing that, like in the middle of cooking your dinner, and the refrigerator that, you know, if you slam the bottom part, the freezer pops open and then you have soft ice cream. And these are all more than 20 years old, all these appliances. And you know, they're not even on their last legs anymore. They are on their last hands and knees. So I've been wanting to go buy new ones, but when you have 3 appliances to buy all at once and you go into stores and there's like 500 of each thing and you're just, well, I don't know what I want. I don't care. I just want stuff that fits. I don't have big demands. Somebody tell me what to buy. And I've tried looking online. I've tried looking in stores. I just, for some reason, maybe because of my befuddled old age, am just finding the whole task really intimidating. So I found out that Best Buy has this service. It started out with tech things, like if you wanted home security or you wanted some big new home theater system, somebody will come to your house and tell you what to get. And they've broadened that now to kitchen appliances. So I signed up for that. And the other day, a couple of guys came to my house. They measured the appliances I have. They talked to me about what, sort of budget we had and what sort of things we want. Were there any features we wanted? And then they're going to put together a proposal for me of what I should buy. And I can just tell them, yes, I want to buy that. And they will make it all happen. And, I think that's just a wonderful thing. It's just what I wanted to say. Just somebody come to my house.
It's like an interior decorator for your kitchen appliances.
Yeah, well, it's like a personal shopper for kitchen appliances, basically. And he's this young man who came over. He says, I'll be your guy at Best Buy. Anything in the future you want to buy, you call me up. Well, you tell me what you want, and I'll tell you what we have and what you should do. So I'm so excited about it because it's just, I used to be able to shop, and now it's just, I find it kind of terrifying. There's too many choices. I don't know what to get. I need advice, and nobody wants to give you advice. So you don't have to pay for this service. I think it's called their Home Advisor is the name of the service. If you Google Best Buy Home Advisor, you can find out about it. They don't work on commission, so they don't get more money if they upsell you. They're just, I think what it is, I was Googling around and they were saying that Best Buy is trying to battle Amazon by offering more person-to-person assistance, which is, I think, really smart. So I will buy stuff if this works out, I told him, if this works out, I'm going to have more things I'm going to want to buy in the future, and I will continue to call you. Wow. So we'll see. Right. As it is, they came and they're supposed to get me a proposal. I have not gotten it yet, but I liked the things that it looked like that they had were going to suggest to us, and the price was a little more than I wanted, but it was still okay. And I mean, appliances are the kind of thing we're going to have them another 20 years, we hope. So I don't feel quite so bad spending money on them. I mean, I could go to a play for about the same price. But anyway, so that's something, if you, like me, are intimidated by big purchases and just want somebody to hold your hand and say, here, how about these? What do you think of these, ma'am? Check out Best Buy Home Advisor. As of now, I am very high on it. I think it's a wonderful thing.
Great. Oh, that's cool. Wow. Catherine, what do you have this week?
Well, I'm going to mention a podcast. I was in one of those threads on Facebook where people were recommending podcasts to each other. And I, of course, put in a plug for this very one that you're listening to. But elsewhere in the thread, someone mentioned one from WBUR, which is the public radio station in Boston. And it's called Last Scene. And it is about the theft of 13 paintings and art objects from the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum that happened in 1990 and still unsolved. And so it's like a true crime thing about this art heist. And I've listened to the first 2 so far. I don't know how many. I don't know if it's just a finite series and they're all out or what. But I've listened to the first 2 so far, and it's been really interesting and in depth. And they have a website that's like sprawling with information. Wow. I have not really dug into that at all because, I'm listening to the podcast.
That's right.
I'm not here to read all your articles online too. Just summarize, please. Yeah. So anyway, the Last Scene podcast.
Nice.
Okay. Well, and I'm going to share something for all those families out there who have a senior child, a child that is a senior in high school, or even a junior, because when can you start taking AP courses? Sophomore?
Yeah, junior? I mean, maybe even freshman year if you're really super go-getter, but my junior is taking her first one now.
So my daughter's been taking them for the last few years, and of course, and then doing her SAT. And we just recently bought, I don't know, probably like our 6th or 7th book from this company, which offers, and I've never, in Canada, we didn't have AP tests, so I was never familiar with this company, so maybe they had them when you were doing those tests, but the Barron's books.
Okay.
They're a series of books that are study guides for AP courses, and they are worth their weight in gold, let me tell you. they're an excellent resource for your kids who need just that extra practice or extra review. My daughters use the U.S. history one, the calculus one. She's used the SAT ones. I mean, they've just been really, really helpful. They come with, you can get like flashcards, you can get the workbook. Anyway, I'm just throwing it out there because I know that a lot of parents are, I mean, they're challenging classes and your kids can get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So this is a really, and so you get them on Amazon too. There's tons of them on Amazon. And Barron's, BARRON''S. And
Nice.
They're a great resource.
Nice.
So
Good to know.
that is that.
And now, for our final segment today, we're going to do a little shameless self-promotion and direct you to some things on our sites that we think you should take a look at. I will mention that something to look for if you are following our suggestion to listen to our podcast on RadioPublic. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. We get a tiny bit of change for each listen, and it's really helpful for people to do that. However, RadioPublic is now going to be adding something where you can tip your podcaster. I think it's on Android now. It will be on iOS soon, they say. And, if you listen to an episode that you find particularly amusing and want to buy us a cup of cheap coffee at McDonald's, you can, put a few bucks down or send a few bucks our way. Or, if from time to time you want to help support the hosting of this podcast and the other minor expenses we get putting it together, we would really appreciate it. That would be a very kind thing to do. So we're sort of in the process of setting it up, and as I said, it's not on iOS just yet, but keep an eye out for that. And if you ever are moved to send a little cash our way, thank you very much. That would be very nice. Maybe I can go for some fine dining.
Yeah.
Or buy a Snickers bar, more likely.
There you go.
Catherine, what do you have to share today?
I think I will go stick with your theme of podcast related promotion and I would love to see us have a few more subscribers on Instagram.
Yes.
I don't know. It's fun. I only post one thing a day, and it's just a quote from our podcast. So it's just a little, I always try to make it something funny.
Yeah.
So, if you just want a little fun little graphic in your Instagram feed, let it be from us.
Yes. We won't bother you.
Yes.
Just quietly sneak in and put a little smile there and then
that's right.
Be on our way.
Yeah. So give us a try over there.
Excellent.
And if you don't have an Instagram account, you should just open one, subscribe to us, and then just move on.
It's a perfectly reasonable request.
Yes, I really think it is.
Yes. And Nicole, what do you have this week?
So I went up to San Jose this week and did a presentation for the Inclusion Collaborative State Conference, and I just noticed today that it is available for your viewing pleasure. So I'm going to embed it on my my website, The Inclusive Class, and I will put that up. I'm doing that right now as we speak, so the link will be available for anybody who's interested in learning about modifying curriculum to include students with disabilities.
Nice.
And excuse the video quality and my I had 2 hours of sleep the night before that conference. So that's
Great.
going to be available for viewing.
Nice.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Parenting Roundabout. We hope you enjoyed it and that you'll join us every week. You can listen to podcast episodes on RadioPublic or download them from Apple Podcasts. Please subscribe so that you get all of our podcasts and mini podcasts.
You can also follow us on Twitter, where I am at Nicole Erdix, Catherine is at C. Haleko, and Terri is at Momitude. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter at Roundabout Chat and look for us on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, YouTube, and Instagram too.
Best of all, stop by our podcast page at parentingroundabout.com and read recaps, find links on everything we've mentioned, and talk back in the comments. Thanks to John Morin at johnjmorin.com for providing our in and out music. And I wish everyone a great week.